Article 9.27 Mobile Offshore Oil Drilling Rig Production Platform Unit and Habitat Unit. General descriptions. Rotary oil drilling rig. The main components of rotary oil drilling rigs are: number 1, drawworks, the control center which from the driller operates the rig. It houses the clutches, chains, sprockets, and engine throttle and includes the main winch mounted on the rig floor. The drawworks is used to raise and lower drill pipes, tubings, casings, and liners by the motor, which are either explosion-proof or fresh air purge. 2. DC motors. These shunt-type motors operate from the 3-phase voltages by full-wave SR controls. 3. Rotary tables. These tables rotate the drill steering and support the string during or make or break operation by the motors with SCR speed and reversing control. 4. AC motors. Constant speed AC motors are used in the mud tanks for blending the mud homogeneously. Lighting system. This system keeps the borehole and drill bit clean, provide the lubrication and cooling. It maintains adequate hydrostatic pressure on the formation to prevent hole cave in or blow out due to the normal bottom hole pressure. The special mud is pumped under high pressure down the drill pipe through the drilling bit up the annual, removing the cuttings from the bottom of the hole. The pumps are of positive displacement type. Of the circulating flow rate is proportional to mud pump speed. Power for drilling mud circulating system is obtained from the mud pumps, which are driven from a variable speed DC motors. Number 6. Cementing system. Motors for the cement pump, low pressure jet pump, lube pump, pressurized air pump, blower, and air compressor to fill with cement the spaces surrounding the casing to prevent contamination caused by the migration of fluids from the formation during the drilling, thus provided mechanical support for the casing and blowout preventer or BOP. The BOP will eventually be replaced by a stock assorted delivery valves when the drilling is over and the oil will comes into service. And ACR system or silicon controlled rectifier. These are mentioned in Article 9.16. It operates on the principle of solid state logic and switching components with a power factor controller. The solid state logic produces the firing impulses that control the on and off switching of the SCR. SCR provides smooth uniform voltage control to the motor and balance currents and the AC line for the better power utilization from the AC generator. Pairs of SCRs are fired sequentially in the proper phase sequence to ensure the equal current flows through each. B. Production platform. Production platform is a gravity-based steel structure that is dynamically positioned offshore to receive and store the crude oil coming out from the oil wells, and also process some for fuel of the gas turbine, driving the main generators and multi-stage air compressors and seawater injection facilities. The platform consists of 3 or more bottle-like. Article 9.27 Mobile Offshore Oil Drilling or RI tank. Tank legs for crude oil storage and ballasted with iron or aggregates for stability during in-service life. The upper structure of high deck structure comprises 3 levels, namely the main deck, where the electrical power sources and utilities for oil and gas handling equipment. Drilling or workover rigs are located the lower mezzanine decks for personal use and the helideck. Requirements: A. Electrical power source. The unit shall be provided with a main source of electrical power, which should include at most 5 sets of gas turbine generator sets, a backup source of electrical power of at least 2 sets of diesel engine driven generator sets, and storage batteries for emergency and transitional source of electrical power. B. Electrical services to be insured. All electrical services for power and utilities, lighting, communication, alarm, and control and navigation necessary in the normal emergency conditions for operational and habitable situation of the dynamically positioned oil drilling rig, production platform, and habitat unit shall be insured. So the electrical services for power and utilities lighting shall be insured.
C. Backup power. All services of the rotary oil drilling rig for uninterrupted operation of the main components, such as drawworks, mud circulating system, and cementing system, shall be insured in case of failure of the main power source with the takeover of the backup power source and by a silicon-controlled rectifier SCR system. So, ang backup power is, it is a rotary oil drilling rig for operation of the main components like drawworks, mud circulating system, and also cementing system. Safety unit. Electrical services essential for the safety of the unit and personnel from electrical fire shock and hazards shall be assured. Next is hotel facility. Electrical services for the accommodation of personnel and hotel facility which is located below on the main deck, such as the 24-hour air conditioning services, preservation of provisions and supply, main kitchen and laundry electrical equipment, etc. shall be assured. Sources of electrical power. Main source of electrical power. A. Gas turbine generators. The main power source, which consists of 5 sets of gas turbine generator sets, shall have sufficient capacity to ensure the functioning of the services referred to in the part under normal condition. 4 sets run at any time with the 5th set on standby. Produce and process gas or distillate fuel is used for the gas turbine with automatic changeover from one to the other. So, gas turbine generators is a main source power, which is the 4 sets run anytime while the 5th set is standby for in case of like emergency, something like that. And next is parallel operation scheme. When 2 or more generators are in parallel, the voltage regulator sends voltage and current to maintain equal voltages and minimize circulating current between generators. So, parallel operation is presenting the voltage, adjusting the potentiometer to a minimum circulating current, minimize the correction required by the regulator. When a generator is removed from the line and is no longer in parallel with the other generators, it will short out its current transformer to prevent false signal transmission to the cross current compensation network. If desired, the voltage of each generator can be controlled manually or automatically by proper selection of the manual select switch. A switch can also manually or automatically synchronize the generators to the AC bus. And the generator AC circuit breaker operates continuously under the full load of kVA of the generator. And next is protective and controlling devices. The following electrical protective and controlling devices shall be provided for each generating set, namely electronic engine governor, speed adjusting potentiometer, governor selection switch, voltage regulator, voltage adjusting potentiometer, auto over voltage sensor and control, generator circuit breaker, and all indicating and measuring instrument for AC generators. F. At the stowage position for fireman's outfit. G. At the sprinkler pump, if any, at the fire pump referred to in B4, below at the emergency vehicle pump, if any, at their starting position. H. On helicopter landing deck. Navigation lights, other lights, and sound signals required by the international regulation for the prevention of collision at sea for a period of 18 hours. A. Any signaling lights or in all spaces from which control of the drilling process is performed and where controls of machinery essential for the performance of this process or devices for emergency switching off of the power plant are located. Transitional power source. Provided with transitional source of emergency power as specified in section 9.27.2.7 unless the emergency generator is capable of supplying the services mentioned in section 9.27 and being automatically started supplying the required load as quickly as safe and practicably, but it is not more than 45 seconds. Storage battery. Storage battery as the emergency source of electrical power shall be capable of carrying emergency load, automatic operation, immediate operation. So storage battery is used for emergency, and like for example, if there is a power short circuit, storage battery will be usable to any form of emergency. The transitional sources of emergency power. The transitional sources of emergency power were required by section 9.27 shall consist of storage battery suitably located for use in an emergency, which operate without recharging while maintaining the voltage of battery throughout the discharge period within plus or minus 12% of its nominal voltage, and be sufficient capacity and so arranged as to supply automatically in the following services for half an hour at least if depend upon on electrical sources in operation, and so arranged as to supply automatically in the event of failure of either main of the emergency source of power. Emergency switchboard. Location. The emergency switchboard shall be installed as the near as practicably to the emergency source of power, and where the emergency source of power is a generator, the emergency switchboard should be preferably located in the same space. So, the emergency switchboard shall be accessible in case of emergency because that is very important to prevent injuries and other unnecessary things. B. Not in the same space. No storage battery fitted in accordance with the requirement for emergency or transitional power supply shall be installed in the same space as the emergency switchboard, unless appropriate measures are taken to extract the gases discharged from the said batteries. An indicator shall be mounted in the suitably placed on the main switchboard or in the machinery control room to indicate when the batteries, the transitional source of power referred to in section consisting either the emergency source of power of the emergency transitional source of power. Automatic disconnection. In order to ensure ready availability of emergency supplies, arrangements should be made where necessary to disconnect automatically non-emergency circuits from the emergency switchboard to ensure that the power is available automatically to the emergency circuit. Installation requirements of the emergency power source. The emergency generator and its prime mover and emergency storage battery shall be designed to function at full rated power when it is upright and when inclined to a maximum angle of heel in the intact and damaged condition at 22.5 degrees out of the longitudinal axis and or 10 degrees about the transitional axis. Main and emergency